Hi there, I'm Gabriel. Greetings from beautiful Jasper National Park, soaking up some glorious sunshine here. So this video is going to be about Solara, the spiritual author. First I should clarify that there are two Solaras. There's Solara, the author of the books The Starborn, 1111, and How to Live Large on a Small Planet, who is the woman that I'm going to talk about. There's another woman, Solara, who has a pretty popular YouTube channel with her videos talking about the Pleiadians and Kundalini and all kinds of good stuff. But I'm going to talk about the other Solara because I happen to know her personally. So there are a couple of stories that I can relate in the process of this. I met Solara in the spring of 1997. I actually met her on my birthday, April 30th, my 25th birthday, 1997. So for anyone who's read my book, Following My Thumb, A Decade of Unabashed Wanderlust, in which I chronicle my travels around the world during the 1990s, but I talk about my travels in Hawaii in the winter of 1997, in which I live in the Hawaiian rainforest for a couple of months. Pretty amazing adventures there. After I came back from there, I went back to California, worked for my dad a little bit, saved up a little money, and then I read some books of Solara's prior to this, and discovered that she was in the process of creating a community in Montana. And so I went up there to help out with her community. Now, really quick, I'll go off on another little tangent here and talk about my first coming across her books. For anyone who's read one of my other books, Kundalini and the Art of Being, then the book ends with a little bit of a I don't know what you call it, cliffhanger or something. Seems like it should be the beginning of a leading to a sequel or something, but it ends when I synchronistically end up at this commune in northern Washington state, which I was going to anyways, but through a funny series of circumstances I run into these people before I intended to, and then the book ends. So I was living at that community where I ended up at after the book ends, and there I met a really amazing, awesome woman that I fell very madly in love with, and then who subsequently broke my heart later. But her name was Diva, and I met this woman Diva, and we just connected right away and really just kind of merged souls. And one of Solara's books was in the library of this community in northern Montana, where I lived at for several months, and I ended up reading it with her in the cabin, naked in bed, and reading her book, The Starborn, which is her first book, which is a really, really cool book. I really loved it, and basically she talks about coming from somewhere else, the stars, which would presumably mean a planet around another star. We're here in the stars anyways, that's a rather warm star right there, heating me up at the moment, but the belief that many of us have come from somewhere far away in order to experience this planet and all it has to offer and help out with the transition period that we are in the midst of at this moment. Now, I have another video that's directly speaking to that concept of coming from the stars. It's titled The Superman Experience, Traveling from the Stars. And I relate my own personal memory, childhood memory of when I was a kid sitting in a movie theater watching the movie Superman, the first Superman movie that came out in 1978, in which it shows Superman, and pardon me, I realize I'm going off on wild tangents here, but what the heck. So the beginning of that movie, the Superman movie, shows Superman coming from his home planet of Krypton as a baby, being sent in a little pod down to Earth. And sitting in the movie theater as a 5-year-old, this triggered a memory in me that I had experienced something similar to this, not as a baby before I was born, but I was hit by this very vivid flood of memory that I had come from some other planet or star and experienced the trial of journeying to Earth. So, that's what Solara is talking about. She's also the author of 1111, and for people who see 1111, the time 1111, and like it triggers something in them, then she really speaks to that. She talks about the 1111 doorway, and it's a more than 20-year-long period of time, starting in, I think, 1992, going to 2011. I guess that would be 19 or 20 years. It kind of lines up with the concept of 2012, that period of time was a very important transition period and period of evolution for humanity. And there were certain gates along the way. There were 11 gates, and so she would have these ceremonies attracting people from all over the world, and then they would meet in different places around the world and perform these spiritual ceremonies that were about connecting with and helping bring about the gates or stages of this awakening process for the planet. I experienced one of them in 1997 when I was living on Solara's property in Montana. I think it was the third gate, but I could be wrong. But it was a very beautiful ceremony. It covered a couple of days of learning some different teachings of Solara's and some different body movements and dances and a variety of different things that she teaches, culminating in the ultimate ceremony. And so I lived on Solara's land there in northern Montana, a beautiful piece of land in the woods, similar to this, similar sort of forest, with this really awesome lodge. And I spent most of the summer living in a tent nearby and then helping out on the land. That community didn't end up happening. It didn't come together and kind of fell apart and was a little bit of a disaster for financially and whatnot. But still, I had a pretty cool time up there. I actually, her daughter was working there, and I ended up hooking up with her daughter, and we hung out for a bit, and had some fun together. So after that summer, then I journeyed on to other travels. But so that's a little bit about Solara and various other random things that sort of connect to it. If you're curious to hear more, look for her books. Solara, Solara, author of The Starborn, 1111, How to Live Large on a Small Planet, and several other books. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.